So with the materials that I had on hand, I figured out that I could make two of these carts, one for the freeze dryer machine and one for bagging. It's about 36 inches tall, 2 feet deep, and 52 inches wide the way I'm going to make it. I had to make some spacers to go between the cart and the wheels because I couldn't get bolts the right length. This time, I'm finishing the bagging cart. Next time, I'll be completing the cart for the freeze dryer and the vacuum pump. After I cut out the spacer pieces, I stacked them together and clamped them so I could drill them all at the same time. Then I put them in between the wheel and the cart and put the bolts in. Without the spacers, the wheels just barely touched the bolts. The next size down was a 1/4 inch shorter, and that was too short to work at all. I used a belt sander to put a radius on all the corners of the top. That way, when I bump into it, it won't hurt as much. Next, I'm using some laminate flooring for the top of the carts. It was about $8 worth of laminate for each cart. I glue every seam of the laminate. This helps ensure that nothing can get in that space and it's easy to clean. After the pieces lock together, I clean up any excess glue. If I had matched the length of the laminate to the length of the cart top, I wouldn't have had to have had short glue seams at all. The longer seams go together even easier than the short seams. Just tilt it up into the groove and jiggle it down into place. It locks in very nice. This stuff is super easy to install, and with a little care holds up great on tabletops for a very long time. Some of the ones I've done are over 10 years old and look perfect still. So, the top has had time for the glue to dry now. And the Gorilla Glue, I'll just put a small amount around the perimeter. I'm trying to stay close to the edge, maybe an inch or something. So it's got good bond. Oops, missed there. Can't go that direction very well. So make sure that it doesn't lift up anywhere. A few thin stripes. Close as possible to the right spot the first time, so I don't have to shift it around and smear things. Looks pretty good. A little bit. So I'm pretty excited. Carts are almost done. These are the carts that I was building out of the miscellaneous scrap stuff I had from a project last year. And the only thing I had to buy was the wheels and the hardware to attach the wheels, and then the bearings for these pull-outs. So I have this one pull-out for a couple of different sizes of bags and oxygen absorbers, and I've got to find the right size box for these 2-quart bags. So I don't want to just leave them laying on there. I kind of want them this direction, but I need to get just the right size box for it. Then I can have all these sitting there at the same time. Just pull it out and I've got what I need for bagging. Okay, and then this drawer here just finished. And again, it's kind of made up of scraps, so it's kind of an odd shape and size. So then when I need it, I'll be able to just pull those out. Okay. So to have a place for the bearing for this slide, I just took a scrap piece of ply and glued it up inside. I cut it around the 2x4 and glued it on there, and then put 2 screws in the front edge of it, because I figured most of the force would be this front. Everything else is just glued in. And for this bottom drawer, I just took a scrap of wood and glued it along that shelf so that I'd have a place to screw the bearing onto. I'm going to hang the heat gun over here. I think I'll go about there. I'll just put a little mark where I'm going to drill it. I've got this little piece of dowel that I had hanging around, and I'm going to just drill a hole that size. I'm going to clamp on a board to the back, see if I can help keep it from chipping out. So when I drill through it, hopefully it won't chip out. So I'm going to go with a slight downward angle, so hopefully it won't fall off either. One of the heat guns on there. Okay, that's all the way through and then some. All right, that made a nice clean hole that way. Cool. Always amazes me when it works. So now I'll put some glue on that and glue it in there. Take just a touch of Gorilla Glue. So that should be plenty. And I'm going to kind of twist it into the hole. And fill the back of it. Okay, there, it bottomed out. Then I'll let that set up. Got to figure out how I want these to hang. I think that's what I'll start with, is putting it really close to the edge. So underneath, 6 3/4. I just make a teeny little mark, and I'm just going in maybe a 1/2 inch. Okay, so I got a mark about a 6 3/4 in, about a 1/2 inch away from the edge. I should probably pre-drill a little hole, a pilot hole for that. Otherwise, again, I'm going to have troubles there. Yeah, screw that in. All right, got a little hook. It doesn't stick past the edge. Real easy to see. Have the hole. Ta-da! All right, that worked. Sweet. Now I could use this one as the template for the other two. There. The mats are all hung. So it has locking wheels in all four corners. So when I roll it to where I want it, I can lock it, unlock it, move it around. So do I need anything else on here? Well, if I figure out more things, I can add them later. Well, I already found something else I wanted to add. So I'm going to add onto the end a holder for my scoop. So it has these tabs. I'm going to cut this piece off so I can drill 2 holes and kind of glue it into place along the side, kind of like that. And then this will be able to drop down into it. First, I'm going to cut these ends off a little bit. All right. Got those pieces cut off, ground down a little bit. I'll do a test piece. So my thought was I could do, I think this is the spacing I need. Do the same thing I did on here. So I'll just transfer all that over. And I can use a little bit of the Gorilla Glue. Yeah. And even with the other pieces hanging there, it will be fine. So add a bit of Gorilla Glue to those metal pieces. Probably just go this way. And put some directly in these. And not try to put it on the metal piece, because that's going to be tough. Okay. It cures nicely. So let me try. Oh, there. That went in nice. Now let's see if the other one will. Hopefully it will fit in there. Haha. Success. Do need to tap that in there just a little bit. Let me see if I can do it with this. Ha! That is a beauty. And another piece done. So, can hang these on there. And that can hang there. So I'm using this silicone material to go around the top edge of that to make sure it's all sealed. So I'm just trying to get all the areas coated just lightly. If I get any on the top laminate, that's not a big deal because it wipes right off. Okay, and then continue around until I get the whole edge. I've got the heat gun and the sealer on top, and I added a power strip. To add the power strip, I just glued a piece of wood up underneath so I could screw the power strip to it.